I think this is pertinent to all women.
All people in general, actually. Because I feel like there's a lot of...
True.
Just people who don't be listening, bro.
True.
Perfect.
We back, man.
Reality check in the building. You already know what's good.
We back with doing reaction videos, man. We've been going some crazy places with these videos, for real, bro. If you want therapy sessions,
Lock in. This one gonna be another heater.
alright.
Here we go.
In regards to black women not being protected, let me first state the obvious. No man should put his hands on a woman. We desire protection, but sometimes what we don't understand is that true protection comes with a level of control. Bodyguards are a good example. A bodyguard will make their client leave from a dangerous place. The bodyguard has to know all the details: who, what, when, where, why, and how. And the client has to listen to the bodyguard and follow the instruction that the bodyguard gives them. It's really an agreement between all parties involved. When the person who needs protecting does not follow the instruction and the direction of the protector, it puts the protector in a situation where they're more likely to lose their life. I have 4 brothers and a father, and I listen to their instruction even when they're not around. They have told me to stay away from certain places if I'm by myself or if it's late at night. They've also advised me not to be drunk or high in certain situations. Even though my brothers, my dad, and the men in my life protect me, I in turn protect them by listening to them and following their instruction. They don't have to come to my defense in some wild scenario, because if I listened to them, I wouldn't have been there in the first place. And this is another thing I feel like it's pertinent to say, and I know folks ain't gonna like this one. I don't have sons right now, but when I do have sons, I'm gonna teach them that there's a difference between diamonds and dirt and rubies and rocks. Rubies and diamonds are often in jewelry stores. They're in glass cases, they're secured, there's an alarm system. There's a lot of layers of protection because those things are valuable. But you could pull over to the side of the road and find some dirt and rocks. Expecting a man to risk his well-being, his future, and his life on someone who does not see value in themselves or the man is asinine. That's a very asinine thing to ask. All I'm saying is, protection comes with a little bit of sacrifice. It comes with a little bit of control.
Nah, hold on.
No, run it.
She preaching.
Run it.
And me personally, I feel that what I have to sacrifice and the amount of control I have to give up is 100% worth it to receive the protection that I've been getting my whole life.
Somebody say, who is this woman? Somebody.
Bro,
Facts.
who is this woman?
Who is this woman? There's a lot to unpack in
There's
this
so
one.
many, bro. Before you come for this lady, let us acknowledge that there are men who are extremely too over controlling.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right,
Yes.
all right. Let's acknowledge this.
Yes.
However, let us also acknowledge that a lot of these shorties that be complaining that their man is controlling, they are being protective. They're not controlling, they're being protective. Now, if you're single and you're just like hanging out with a guy or whatever, maybe you can have the stance, sure. But I feel like once you are talking to someone in which now it's gotten to the point where both of you matter greatly to each other, I feel like it is very silly to assume that the other person wouldn't want to protect you. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Okay.
But if you value something, you gonna protect it?
Absolutely. Right. I agree. Yeah.
Unless you think you're not valuable.
Or not worth protecting.
Or right.
Yeah.
If you're gonna try to protect something, that requires a certain amount of control. Like
a reasonable amount.
A reasonable amount of, not overly.
No.
But there's certain things that you're going to want to make sure that's in place to ensure that you're comfortable with the security of the thing that you're trying to protect.
And just so that we're clear, by thing we're not just referring to a person, because a person is a thing.
Yeah.
Like anything, right? I just wanted to clarify.
Any object or thing or person that holds value and that you feel deserves protection, you are going to want to put certain measures in place to make sure that it's protected.
Yes, I agree. Yes.
Now, if I have my girl, right, and she's trying to go somewhere, I'm not gonna say you're not allowed.
Ooh.
Because that's, you know what I mean, that's a little, you know what I mean. But if I give a suggestion, if I give a suggestion, be like, oh, I don't know if I don't know about that because
it's like 11:59 at night.
It's 11:59 and it's in a neighborhood that I'm not too like, and I'm not gonna be there. Like, like I'm not too like. That's controlling. That's controlling, bro. I personally feel like if I was so liberal to just be like, oh yeah, it's fine. I feel like that'll be worse because now it seems like I don't care about your safety.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Y'all go say, oh, like being like you can't go is a red flag.
Yeah.
If you're going in a sketch neighborhood, maybe you don't think it's sketch, but if I have some more information or if I'm just a little bit more concerned, if you're going to sketch neighborhood at a weird time of night around weird people, you think if I don't say anything, that's not a red flag?
That's a valid point.
Because, for example, if the roles were reversed, and we're talking about a guy going in an unsafe situation and the girl is recommending probably don't go there, I feel like the same is true.
Yeah.
Because, like, if my girl was to be like, oh, like, I don't know about the location, bro, it feels wonderful to know that my girl is concerned about my safety.
Facts.
And if what the points she's making are valid, I will listen because it makes sense.
Facts. That's a valid point because shout out to this person's brothers and fathers and all that, because the reason why it's unsafe potentially for your girl to go out at that time in that neighborhood is because of men not being raised this way the first place. Because if men or if boys were raised the way that men should be, most of our issues would be minimal.
Bro, and let me tell you this.
Catch this.
Go ahead.
Why do guys not want to have a daughter?
Because they're worried about other guys. 100%.
So if everybody was actually able and capable and actually willing to deal with the harshness of boys and the dark side of boys not being properly grown up into the men that they should be to protect the priceless jewels that are our female counterparts. That is where we get into the issue of, I know how men are, so this is something where I'll feel a little bit unsafe. I was raised, or you was raised, or whoever was raised with a certain amount of decency, kindness, awareness, and respect that we show to others. Not everybody's like that.
Bro, let me tell you this. Now, before I say this, I don't want people to come on here acting like I think it's women's responsibility. I don't. It's men's responsibility. However, I do think, and I felt it in this video, where when a woman is able to hold herself in that way with grace and poise and is eloquent like and that still, and knows.
And this is the thing too. And delivers a point that might be a hot take, but invites you in to think about it.
All that.
Critically.
All that. All those things wrapped into one, and you're able to communicate it in such an elegant way. When those type of women speak, men fall in their place. When women speak like that. You know what I mean? Like that video right there, bro, she's talking, bro. Like I feel like if she was one of them women in the local community or whatever, and there was a bunch of like youths that were like troublesome and whatever, bro, she's talking sense into them, bro.
Yeah.
She's the one doing that. As I said, I'm not saying that it's women's responsibility to get guys to fall in line or get guys to act how they gonna act, but it helps.
Yeah. There's something that I think back to, which is one of my friends I was talking with, Cody, wheelchair athlete, 5th in the world. He's amazing. He's a phenomenal human being. Shout out Cody. Yeah. He was just sharing with me, he wanted to look at the depth or how bad can humans be, like really. What is the worst thing a human can do? What are we actually capable of? And then look at the opposite side.
Wow. Okay.
So this person's father and brothers showed her, maybe probably told her, the risks or dangers of men. Yeah. And this is why we do this, and this. Yeah. This is why and also what to look for and avoid within the same sets of group of people. In there, you can actually sift through the rut and the dirt and find the gems, because you know what dirt looks like. Facts. You know what dirt sounds like. You know where dirt lives. You know where you can find it.
This is true.
And then because you know the worst of the worst, then you can actually look for the best of the best, given that you know the worst that thing possible. If you ask any girl, most girls would say that kidnapping or rape is two of the things that they're like most fearful of.
Yeah.
And those two things are predominantly done by males. So the issue and the responsibility lies with men and the people and parents that raised them.
Right.
Because clearly, she didn't even mention her mother. She didn't even mention her mother.
I feel like if your immediate first reaction is that person is being controlling, I feel like that says more about how you see that person.
Perception.
Because I feel like in that circumstance, that tells me that you really don't trust that person. Or you really don't think that that person really has your back for real. Because if you thought that, you would listen first and ask questions later.
Yeah.
For example, her, I feel like they probably did a lot of explaining and was like, oh, this is why, so you understand or whatever. But I feel like she's developed enough trust in them and she holds them in such a place of respect to the point where if they say something, even if they don't have enough time to explain why they said it, she would listen. And the reason for that is because of the respect thing and because of she knows that they have her best interests at heart. Right. Yeah. So if now you are a person where, like, when somebody says, oh, you don't go there, your first is like, oh, you're being controlling.
Or why.
I
love to ask why. And sometimes asking why, where you get hit in the process.
Bro, I'm saying, like, I don't have enough time.
Why?
Psh, boom.
This video was, you know, the way she made it was predominantly in towards black women, but I think all women,
all people in general, actually, because I feel like there's a lot of just people who don't be listening, bro.
True, because if the responsibility is on men's part, and as well as parents to raise good humans,
that means the sons gotta listen to their fathers too, man.
So it's a constant cycle. I digress.
We was talking for a while.
Bless y'all, man. Tune into the next one. Love y'all. Reality check, guessed it. Check.